Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today we continue our series building decks around the new legendary creatures from the Brothers' War. Earlier this week we built decks around the two new melded brothers, Urza and Mishra. Today we finish the series with a deck built around Titania, Voice of Gaea. Before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. I've been very happy with the growth this channel has had so far, and I'm excited to see where we're going. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Titania, Voice of Gaea is a 3-mana, 3/4 legendary elemental with reach. She says whenever lands are put into our graveyard from anywhere, we gain 2 life. Additionally, at the beginning of our upkeep, if there are 4 or more land cards in our graveyard and we both own and control Titania, Voice of Gaea and a land named Argoth, Sanctum of Nature, exile them, then meld them into Titania, Gaea Incarnate. Argoth, Sanctum of Nature enters the battlefield tapped unless we control a legendary green creature. We can tap it to add green mana to our mana pool, or we can pay 4 mana and tap it to create a 2/2 green bear creature token, then mill 3 cards. However, we can activate that second ability only as a sorcery. Titania, Gaea Incarnate, the melded version of the aforementioned cards, is an absolute powerhouse. Not only does she have Vigilance, Reach, Trample, and Haste, her power and toughness is also equal to the number of lands we control. Additionally, when Titania, Gaea Incarnate enters the battlefield, we return all lands from our graveyard to the battlefield tapped. We can also pay 4 mana to put 4+1/+1 counters on a land we control. It becomes an elemental creature with haste, but it is still a land. Okay, so we're in mono green and we care about lands. Specifically, we care about lands going into the graveyard. We also want to be able to tutor up specific lands and return lands from our graveyard as needed. Yes, when we meld Titania, she returns all the lands, but that does us no good if Argoth is in the graveyard. We also don't want to be all in on a single strategy, so we want some backup win conditions as well. But before we get to our deck list, we should keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Obviously, we've got Argoth, Sanctum of Nature, as well as War Room for card advantage, Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, and Lotus Field for extra mana, Scavenger Grounds for graveyard hate, Myriad Landscape, and Blighted Woodland for ramp, 20 forests, and a bunch of fetches to fill our graveyard with in Bant Panorama, Jund Panorama, Naya Panorama, Broker's Hideout, Cabaretti Courtyard, Riveteer's Overlook, Misty Rainforest, Verdant Catacombs, Windswept Heath, Wooded Foothills, Grasslands, and Mountain Valley. Soul Ring serves as our sole mana rock, but we also have several ways to put basics into play in Sakura Tribe Elder, Rampant Growth, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, and Yavimaya Elder, Azusa Lost But Seeking, and Oracle of Moldiah let us play extra lands per turn, and Nissa Who Shakes the World basically doubles our mana output. Harrow, Roiling Regrowth, and Springbloom Druid all serve to help put lands into our graveyard, while Hour of Promise lets us fetch any 2 lands we want. To help put more lands into our graveyard, we're running Crop Rotation, Elvish Reclaimer, Crop Sigil, Cavalier of Thorns, Hermit Druid, Satyr Wayfinder, The Binding of the Titans, Realms Uncharted, and the ever-reliable Zuran Orb. I know you're wondering why I call Zuran Orb reliable, but that's only because you've never used Zuran Orb to survive a channeled fireball to the face. Barrier Breach, Naturalize, Return to Nature, Beast Within, Reclamation Sage, Nature's Claim, Acidic Slime, and Pier's Whim all serve as our spot removal, while Bane of Progress and Back to Nature can send certain decks back to the Stone Age. Collector Oof for stacks, especially against treasure-based decks, and Scavenging Ooze is our third piece of graveyard hate. Whirlwind can keep the skies clear, while Karn's Silex is a new board wipe that I've been wanting to try. For card advantage, we've got Tireless Tracker. I know it's a bit of a non-bow with Collector Oof, but it's rare to have both cards on board at the same time. Eternal Witness, Timeless Witness, Harmonize, Sylvan Library, Bala Ged Recovery, Explore, Regrowth, Restore, and Nissa Vital Force. I know we shouldn't rely on Planeswalker ultimates, but it's really easy to ultimate this particular Nissa. We do need to protect our commander, so we've got Tamio's Safekeeping, Veil of Summer, and Heroic Intervention to assist with that. Constant Mists and Jaheira's Respite both seemed on theme and entertaining. I've seen several players scooped Constant Mist before. We wanted some backup win conditions other than our commander, so we've got a small landfall package in Scute Swarm, Rampaging Baloths, Green Sleeves Marrow Sorcerer, and Avenger of Zendikar. Turntimber Sower and Titania Protector of Argoth both care about lands going into the graveyards, while Multani Yavimaya Avatar doesn't care where the lands are. Sylvan Awakening works as our sudden I win card. Even if we're unable to meld our commander anymore, with enough lands in play we should still be able to kill at least one opponent. While Unnatural Growth should be able to buff Titania, Gaea Incarnate enough to one-shot anyone. So now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 52 mana sources, split between 38 lands, 13 pieces of ramp, and 1 MDFC. A little high, but a lot of our deck involves sacrificing lands, so that's fine. 11 pieces of card advantage, 12 pieces of interaction, 2 board wipes, 3 pieces of graveyard hate, 2 sudden I win cards in Sylvan Awakening, and Unnatural Growth. Now, neither of those cards can win us the entire game by themselves, but either of them should be enough to take out a single player. Titania Gaea Incarnate is going to be massive with this deck. Honestly, the deck will play sort of like a Voltron deck rather than the usual go wide green strategy. The more lands we have, the bigger our melded commander gets. So we want to focus early on getting as many lands as possible into play or into the graveyard. Then we meld Titania Voice of Gaia with Argoth's Sanctum of Nature, and proceed to kill the player who is the biggest threat. But if that plan doesn't work out, we've got lots of landfall strategies to win us the game. I'm very excited to build this deck and to smash my opponents with a vengeful demigod like Titania Gaea Incarnate. How are you building Titania Voice of Gaia? Do you have any spicy tech that I may have missed? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Jiraiya, Waffles, Muffins, Casey, Danny, Nick, Marcus, Black Dragon, Phoenix of Ice, Daniel, and Kyo. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or you can click here to watch additional videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.